ॐ शुक्लां भरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। अगजाननपद्मार्कं गजाननमहर्निशम् अनेकदन्तं भक्तानामेकदन्तमुपास्महे। श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। अस्मद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां श्रीहयग्रीवमुपास्महे। श्रीहयग्रीवमूर्तये नमः। सरस्वति नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। श्रीमहासरस्वती नमः। उमाकोमलहस्ताब्जसम्भावितललाटकम् हिरण्यकुण्डलं वन्दे कुमारं पुष्करस्वजं। வெற்றிவேல் முருகனுக்கு ஹரஹரோஹரா. லோகவீரியம் மகாபூஜ்யம் சர்வரக்ஷாகரம் விபும் பார்வதி ஹிருதயானந்தம் சாஸ்தாரம் பிரணமாம்யகம். சுவாமியே சரணமையப்பா. वागर्ताविव सम्पृक्तौ वागर्त प्रतिपत्तये जगतः पितरौ वन्दे पार्वती परमेश्वरौ। श्रीपार्वती परमेश्वराभ्यां नमः। कोमलं कूजयन्मेनुं श्यामलोऽयं कुमारकः वेदवेद्यं परब्रह्मा तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अस्मद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। पीताम्बरं करविराजितचक्रशङ्खकौमोदकी सरसिजं करुणासमुद्रं राधासहायम् अतिसुन्दरमन्दहासं वातालयेशम् अनिशं हृदि भावयामि। कृष्णो रक्षतु मां चराचरगुरुः कृष्णं नमस्ये सदा। कृष्णेनैव सुरक्षितोऽहमसकृत् कृष्णाय दत्तं मनः। कृष्णादेव समुद्भवो मम विभो कृष्णस्य दासोऽस्म्यहम्। कृष्णे भक्तिरचञ्चलास्तु भगवन् हे कृष्ण तुभ्यं नमः। श्रीगुरुवायूरप्पा शरणं नम्राणां सन्निधत्ते सततमपि पुरस्तैरणभ्यर्थितानपि आर्तान् कामानजस्रं वितरति परमानन्दसान्द्रां गतिं च। इत्थं निःशेषलभ्यो निरवधिकफलः पारिजातो हरे त्वं क्षुद्रं तं शक्रवाटी ध्रुममभिलषति व्यर्थमर्त्यव्रजोऽयम्। श्रीगुरुवायूरप्पा शरणं नम्राणां सन्निधत्ते सततमपि पुरस्तैरणभ्यर्थितानपि आर्तान् कामानजस्रं वितरति परमानन्दसान्द्रां गतिं च। इत्थं निःशेषलभ्यो निरवधिकफलः पारिजातो हरे त्वं क्षुद्रं तं शक्रवाटी ध्रुममभिलषति व्यर्थमर्त्यव्रजोऽयम्। श्रीगुरुवायूरप्पा शरणं श्रीभट्टपादम् अनिशं हृदि भावयामि। वंशीविभूषितकरात् नवनीरदाभात् पीताम्बरात् अरुणबिम्बफलादरोष्टात् पूर्णेन्दुसुन्दरमुखात् अरविन्दनेत्रात् कृष्णात् परं किमपि तत्त्वमहं न जाने। കൈരണ്ടും കൂപ്പി ഞാൻ വീണ്ടുമീരക്കുന്നു നീരജലോചന നിന്നോടായി ഏതീനു മഞ്ഞനെ കുമ്പിടേണ്ട തോറു പ്രീതിയിൽ നീ എന്നെ പാലിക്കെന്നായി. കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ. Good morning, everyone. Okay, so we'll do a review of 68 and then maybe 69 up to what we had learned. Kritika, can you do 68 and Pritiji can do 69, 1 to 8 here.
Yeah. Dasakam 68. Gopika-nam paramah-klata तव विलोकनात् कृष्णा गोपिका जनाः प्रमदशङ्कुलाः कृष्णा पङ्कजेक्षणा अमृतधारया कृष्णा सम्प्लुता इव स्तिमिततां तदु कृष्णा त्वत्पुरोगताः तदनु काचना कृष्णा त्वत्कराम्बुजम् सपदि गृह्णति कृष्णा निर्विशङ्गितम् गणपयोदरे कृष्णा सन्निधाय सा पुलकसंवृता कृष्णा दस्तु शीचिरम्
Kritika, the first line, second word, and the kachan, not na, okay? So just you can just land it softly. Kachan.
Okay.
Kachan.
तव विभो परा कृष्णा कोमलम्बुजम् निजकलान्दरे कृष्णा पर्यवेष्टयत् गलसमुत्कदम् कृष्णा प्राणमारुदम् प्रतिनिरुन्धती वा कृष्णा अधिहर्षुला अभगतत्रपा कृष्णा काभिकामिनी तव मुकाम्बुजात् कृष्णा भूकचर्वितम् प्रतिगृह्य तत् कृष्णा वक्त्रपङ्कजे निततदीकता कृष्णा पूर्णकामताम्
Kritika, the second line, first word, pratigrihaya.
प्रतिगृह्य
Double,
okay.
yeah.
प्रतिगृह्य okay. विकर्णो वने कृष्णा संविहाय माम् अपगतोऽसि कात् कृष्णा त्वामिह स्पृशोत् इति सरोषया कृष्णा तावदेकया सजललोचनं कृष्णा वीक्षितो भवान्
First line, last word, sprishet. You said
स्पृशेत्
sprishet, yeah.
स्पृशेत् इति मुदाकुलैः कृष्णा वल्लवीजनैः सममुपागतो कृष्णा यामुने तटे मृदुकुचम्बरैः कृष्णा कल्पितासने गुसृणबासुरे कृष्णा पर्यशोभताः कदिविधा कृपा कृष्णा केऽपि सर्वतो धृतदयोदया कृष्णा केचिदाश्रिते कदिचिदीदृशा कृष्णा मातृवेष्वभीति अभिहितो भवान् कृष्णा वल्लवीजनैः अयि कुमारिका कृष्णा नैव सङ्ख्यताम् कठिनतामयी कृष्णा प्रेम कातरे मयि तु चेतसो कृष्णा वोऽनुवृत्तये कृतमिदं मया कृष्णा इत्युचिवान् भवान् अयि निशम्यतां कृष्णा जीववल्लभाः प्रियतमो जने कृष्णा नेतृषो मम तदिह रम्यतां कृष्णा रम्ययामिनीषि अनुपरोदमे कृष्णा आलपो विभो.
In the second. So on the first line, after the comma, priyatamo jano. Okay. Priyatamo
jano Krishna Netrusho Mama.
In the next line, like Ramyayaminishu.
Okay. Ramyayaminishu
Anuparodamiti Krishna Alapo Vibho.
Okay. इति किरादिकं कृष्णामोदमेदुरैर्हि मोद मोदमेदुरैः व्रजवज्जुजनैः कृष्णा साकमारमन् कलितकौतुको कृष्णारासकेलिन केलने गुरुपुरीपते कृष्णा पाहि मां गदात् कृष्णाय परब्रह्मणे
ശ്രീകൃഷ്ണായ പരബ്രഹ്മണേ നമഃ. ദശകം 69 രാസക്രീഡാ വർണ്ണനം. കേശപാശധൃതപിഞ്ചികാവിതതി സഞ്ചലൻ മകരകുണ്ടലം ഹാരജാലവനമാലികാലലിതമംഗരാഗ ഘനസൗരഭം പീതചേലധൃത കാഞ്ചി മുദഞ്ചദംശുമണിനൂപുരം രാസകേളി പരിഭൂഷിതം തവ ഹി രൂപമീശ കലയാമഹേ. താവദേവ കൃതമണ്ഡലേ കലിത കഞ്ചുലീക കുചമണ്ഡലേ ഗണ്ഡലോലമണികുണ്ഡലേ യുവതി മണ്ഡലേഥ പരിമണ്ഡലേ അന്തരാ സകല സുന്ദരീ യുഗലമിന്ദിരാരമണ സഞ്ചരൻ മഞ്ജുളാം തദനുരാസകേലിമയി കഞ്ചനാഭസമുപാദധാഃ. വാസുദേവ തവ ഭാസമാനമിഹ രാസകേലിരസസൗരഭം ദൂരത്തോപി ഖലു നാരദാഗദിതമാകലയ്യ കുതുകാകുലാ. വേഷഭൂഷണ വിലാസ പേശല വിലാസിനി ശതസമാവൃതാ നാകതോ യുഗപദാഗതാ വിയതി വേഗതോഥ സുരമണ്ഡലീ. വേണുനാദകൃത താനദാനകല ഗാനരാഗഗതിയോജനാ ലോഭനീയ മൃദുപാദപാതകൃത താലമേലന മനോഹരം. പാണിസംഗ്വണിത കങ്കണം ച മുഹുരം സലംപിതകരാംബുജം ശ്രോണിബിംബചലദംബരം ഭജത രാസകേലിരസഡംബരം. ശ്രദ്ധയാ വിരചിതാനുഗാനകൃത താര മധുരസ്വരേ നർത്തനേഥ ലളിതാംഗഹാര ലുലിതാംഗഹാര മണിഭൂഷണേ. സമ്മദേന കൃത പുഷ്പവർഷമലമുന്മിഷദ്ദിവിശദാം കുലം ചിന്മയേ ത്വയി നിലീയമാനമിവ സമ്മുമോഹസവധൂകുലം. സ്വിന്നസന്നതനു വല്ലരീ തദനു കാപി നാമ പശുപാംഗനാ കാന്തമംസമവലംബത്തെ സ്മ തവ താന്തി ഭാരമുകുളേക്ഷണാ. കാചിദാചലിത കുന്തലാ നവപടീരസാര ഘനസൗരഭം വഞ്ചനേന തവ സംസുചുംബ ഭുജമഞ്ജിതോരുപുലകാങ്കുരാ. കാപി ഗണ്ഡഭുവി സന്നിധായ നിജഗണ്ഡമാകുലിത കുണ്ടലം പുണ്യപൂരനിധിരന്വവാപ തവ പൂഗചർവിതരസാമൃതം. ഇന്ദിരാവിഹൃതി മന്ദിരം ഭുവന സുന്ദരം ഹി നടനാന്തരേ ത്വാമവാപ്യ ദധുരംഗനാഃ കിമുന സമ്മദോന്മദ ദശാന്തരം. ഗാനമീശ വിരതം ക്രമേണ കില വാദ്യമേളനമുപാരതം ബ്രഹ്മസംവദരസാകുലാ സദസി കേവലം ന നൃതുരംഗനാഃ. നാവിദന്നപി ച നീവികാം കിമപി കുന്തലീമപി ച കഞ്ജുലീം ജ്യോതിഷാമപി കദംബകം ദിവി വിലംബിതം കിമ പരം ബ്രുവേ.
We'll continue with 9, 10, 11. It's got 3 more stanzas, then we'll go to 70. Mridulaj, you can be student first half, and Maitliga, you can be. So stanza 9. Moda simni bhuvanam vilapya vihrutim samapya cha tato vibho, comma, keli samvridita nirmalanga nava gharma lesha subhagatmanam manmata sahana chetasam pashupa yoshitam sukrita choditaha. Put a visarga and comma in the word line. Choditaha. Next line to start with the is, that will go away. Tavada kalita murtir adhadita. If you want to break at the tra, murtir adhadita maravira paramotsava. Modhasimni bhuvanam vilapya vihrutim samapya cha tato vibho keli samhridita nirmalanga navagharmalesha subhagatmanam manmata sahana chetasam pashupayoshitam sukrita choditah tavada kalita murtiradhadita maravira paramotsavan.
मोदसीं निभुवनं विलाप्य विहृदिं समाप्य च ततो विभो केलिसंहृदितनिर्मलाङ्गनव कर्मलेशसुभगात्मनाम् मन्मदासहनचेतसा पशुपयोषिता सुकृतचोदितः तावता कलितमूर्तिराददित मारवीरपरमोत्सवान् मोदसीं निभुवनं विलाप्य विहृदिं समाप्य च ततो विभो केलिसंहृदितनिर्मलाङ्गनव कर्मलेश सुभगात्मनां मन्मदा सहन चेतसां पशुपयोषितां सुकृतचोदितः तावता कलितमूर्तिराददित मारवीरपरमोत्सवान्
मोदसीं निभुवनं विलाप्य विहृतिं समाप्य च ततो विभो केलिसंहृदित निर्मलाङ्ग नवघर्मलेशसुभगात्मनां मन्मता सहनचेतसां पशुपयोषितां सुहृतचोदितः तावदाखिलतमूर्तिरादधित मारवीरपरमोत्सवान्.
Let's take the last line. Tavada kalita. You said ki, it's ka.
தாவதாக்கலித சரி இன்னொரு தடவை சொல்லணுமா
Yeah.
சரி मोदसीं निभुवनं विलाप्य विहृतिं समाप्य च ततो विभो केलिसंहृदितनिर्मलाङ्ग नवघर्मलोशसुभगात्मनां मन्मता सहनचेतसां पशुपयोषितां सुहृतचोदितः तावदाकलित मूर्तिराधदितमारवीरपरमोत्सवान्.
Second line, Gharma Lesha. Losha, Gharma Lesha Subhagatmana. Le.
Gharma Lesha Subhagatmana.
Keli Bheda Pari Lolitabhirati. Cannot break that word. Lolitabhirati. Lalitabhira Bhalalibihi. That's again one word because it's Lalitabhir Abhalalibihi. So that portion you kind of say it together. Lalitabhira Bhalalibihi, comma. Swairamisha Nanu Suraja Payasi Charu Nama Vikrutim Vyadhaha. Kananepi cha Visari Sheetala Kishora Maruta Manohare, comma, Suna Saura Bhamaye Vilesita Vilasinin Shata Vimohanam. केलिभेदपरिलोलिताभिरतिलालिताभिरबलालिभिः स्वैरमीशननुसूरजापयसि चारुणाम विहृतिं व्यधाः काननेऽपि च विसारि शीतलकिशोरमारुतमनोहरे सूनसौरभमहे विलेसितविलासिनी शतविमोहनम्
केलिभेदपरिलोलिताभिरति लालिताभिरबलालिभिः स्वैरमीशननुसूरजापयसि चारुनामवृहृदिं व्यथाः काननेऽपि च विसारि शीतल किशोरमारुतमनोहरे सूनसौरभमये विलेसितविलासिनि शतविमोहनम् केलिभेदपरिलोलिताभिरति लालिताभिरबलालिभिः स्वैरमीशननु सूरजापयसि विहृदिं व्यथाः काननेऽपि च विसारि शीतलकिशोरमारुत मनोहरे सूनसौरभमये विलेसितविलासिनि शतविमोहनम्
केलिभेदपरिलोलिताभिरतिलालिताभिर्बलालिभिः स्वैरमीशननुसूरजापयसि चारुनाम विहृतिं व्यधाः काननेऽपि च विसारि शीतलकिशोरमारुतमनोहरे सूनसौरभमये विलेसितविलासिनि शतविमोहनम् केलिभेदपरिलोलिताभिरतिलालिताभिरबलालिभिः स्वैरमीशननुसूरजापयसि चारुनाम विहृतिं व्यदाः काननेऽपि च विसारि शीतलकिशोरमारुतमनोहरे सूनसौरभमये विलेसितविलासिनि शतविमोहनम्
कामिनीरिति हि यामिनीषु खलु कामनीय कनिदे भवान् पूर्णसम्मद रसार्णवं कमपि योगी गम्यम् अनुभावयन्. If you want to break it, that गम्यम् अनुभावयन् ब्रह्म शंकर मुखानपीह पशुपांगनासु बहुमानयन् भक्त लोक गमनीय रूप कमनीय कृष्ण परिपाहि माम्. So just this last, because it's a dance, I didn't kind of get into the meaning and description of it. But I think the very last one is just says that the amount of bliss that the Gopikas experienced doing this Rasa Krida and the blessing they had to interact with Krishna this way, kind of, it says it puts them in the highest of kind of people who are trying to reach the Brahman. So if you kind of think of the various margams that we talk, right? So even the greatest of sages who have the greatest of knowledge, or who has the most knowledge, they are at one level. Then you have people who go severe austerities and tapas for thousands and thousands of years. They are also considered equally high. But they say the Gopikas, just by pure devotion and bhakti and love, are put at the same level or at the same pedestal as anybody who has undergone the most austerities. That even it says Brahma, Shankara, Mukhanapiha, and Brahma, Shiva, and all the other gods. Now say the bhakti that is displayed by the Gopikas is at the exact same level as any austerities or any knowledge that anybody else can get. So it's incomparable. So it's at the same level. Just because they don't know how to do tapas or they don't know they don't have the jnanam of Advaitam, doesn't mean they're anything lower. They're at the same level because of that. कामिनी रीतिः यामिनीषु खलु कामनीयकनिधे भवान् पूर्णसम्मदरसार्णवं कमपि योगी गम्यम् अनुभावयन् ब्रह्मशङ्करमुकानपीह पशुपाङ्गनासु बहुमानयन् भक्तलोकगमनीय रूप कमनीय कृष्ण परिपाहि माम् भक्तलोकगमनीय रूप कमनीय कृष्ण परिपाहि माम् भक्तलोकगमनीय रूप कमनीय कृष्ण परिपाहि माम्. The last time, just say 3 times.
I have a question, Rajesh.
Yeah.
What does Bhakta Loga Gamaniya Rupa mean? It's not Kamaniya.
Yeah, so the first one is coming is Gamaniya Rupa. Gamaniya is one who is easily accessible to the devotees. Bhakta Loka, people who are devoted, right? Gamaniya Rupa, because the form or you who is easily accessible, that is the word Gamaniya, which is Kamani. Kamaniya means one who is attractive. Okay, so it is you who is attractive, whose form is only accessible to the most people who are the most devout. That's the easiest way or easy way to get access to Krishna is through devotion.
Thank you. Kamini ritihi yaminishu khalu kamaniyagandite pavan purna sammadara sarnavam kamabiyogi gamya manubhavayan brahma shankara mukha napiha pashupanganasu bahumanayan भक्तलोकगमनीय रूप कमनीय कृष्ण परिपाहि मां भक्तलोकगमनीय रूप कमनीय कृष्ण परिपाहि मां. One more?
That's one time is okay. I think we'll just run.
कामिनी रीतिः यामिनीषु खलु कामनीयकनिधे भवान् पूर्णसम्मदरसार्णवं कमपि योगि गम्य मनुभावयन् ब्रह्मशङ्करमुखान पीह पशुपाङ्गनासु excuse me, बहुमानयन् भक्तलोकगमनीय रूप कमनीय कृष्ण परिपाहि मां भक्तलोकगमनीय रूप कमनीय कृष्ण परिपाहि माम्.
कामिनीरितिः यामिनीषु खलु कामिनीयकनिधे भवान् पूर्णसम्मधर सार्णवं कमपि योगि गम्यमनुभावयन् ब्रह्मशङ्करमुखानपीह पशु पाङ्गनासु बहुमानयन् भक्तलोक गमनीय रूप कमनीय कृष्ण परिपाहि मां कामिनी रीतिः.
First line, right? First word is Kamini. The next word that comes is Kamani.
Okay.
Okay.
कामिनी रीतिः यामिनीषु खलु कामनीय कनिधे भवान् पूर्णसम्मदरसार्णवं कमपि योगि गम्य मनुभावयन् ब्रह्मशङ्करमुखानपीह पशुपाङ्गनासु बहुमानयन् भक्तलोकगमनीय रूप कमनीय कृष्ण परिपाहि मां भक्तलोकगमनीय रूप कमनीय कृष्ण परिपाहि मां भक्तलोकगमनीय रूप कमनीय कृष्ण परिपाहि मां. श्री कृष्णाय परब्रह्मणे नमः.
And the three times when you said the second time of the third time, just slightly you can just make it different. Like they just Bhaktaloka gamaniya rupa kamaniya Krishna paripahi mam. Then the third one will land Bhaktaloka gamaniya rupa kamaniya Krishna paripahi mam. Okay. All right. So let's go to 70. So 70 has got three different, quick episodes which will come there. One is Sudarshana Shapa Moksha Varnanam, one. Shanka Chuda Vada Varnanam, and three. Vrishabhasura Vada Varnanam. So three different quick stories in this. So stanza one. Ite tvai rasakulam ramita vallabhe vallabhaha कदापि पुरमम्बिका कमितुरम्बिका कानने समेत्य भवता समं निशि निषेव्य दिव्योत्सवं सुखं सुषुपुरग्रसीत् व्रजपमुग्रनागस्तथा.
Rajeshri, one question. What are the three Sudarshana Shapam?
Sudarshana Shapam, Shankachuda Vadavarnam, Shankachuda. Third is Vrishabhasura. Vrishaba Asura means in the form of a bull. So Vrishabhasura.
Okay.
Vadavarnam.
Thank you.
Rajesh,
Yeah.
Third one, my book says Arishta Vadhavarnana.
Yeah, the name of that Asura is Arishta. Okay, but he comes in the form of a Vrishabha. So it can be Arishtasura or Vrishabhasura. It's the same, referring to the same thing though. Okay. So, so Ratsakida, everything is over. So this is one, now next is just moving forward, right? So it's like, from 71, 70 is kind of coming to the end of a particular section, and then from 71 it's going to catch heat, right? Like it's showing the movies, right? The hero is fighting all the small people in the village, and then the main villain comes. The main villain, that's all going to happen from 71. So 70 is kind of the final leftover pieces in Vrindavan before Krishna leaves Vrindavan, right? So one day, all these cowherd people, they wanted to worship Lord Shiva. So, some occasion. So they then go to this forest called as Ambika forest. So that is because the forest is called Ambika forest because there is a temple of Shiva and Ambika there in that forest. And it says in Bhagavatam, but it is on the banks of the river Saraswati, which means they are not in Vrindavan. They've kind of, gone away, right, to the banks of the river Saraswati, where they were worshipping. They'd gone to this temple. So they all kind of undergo, Bratam. They all undergo fast, right? And then they go worship Shiva and Ambika. And that night, they end up staying there on the banks of the river Saraswati. So at that time, when they were staying in the forest overnight, at the time, suddenly, there was a big snake which comes up. And then Nandagopa, who was lying, the snake slowly comes, big python, like massive size snake, like Aghasura, massive size snake comes and starts eating Nandagopa, starts swallowing Nandagopa. Iti tvai rasakulam ramita vallabhe vallavaha, kadapi puram ambika kamitur ambika. So two ir. Puram Ambika, Kamitur Ambika Kanane, Sametya Bhavata Samam, Nishi Nishevya Divyotsavam, Sukham Sushupur Agrasid. You can break it that Ra. Sushupur Agrasid, Vrajapam Ugra Nagas Tada. Ite tvai rasakulam ramita vallabhe vallavaha kadapi puramambika kamiturambika kanane sametya bhavata samam nishi nishevya divyotsavam sukham sushuburagrasid vrajapamugranagastadha.
Idi tvairasakulam remita vallabhe vallavaha katapi puramambika Ambika kamiturambika kanane sametya bhavata samam nishinishevya divyolsavam sukham sushupura grasid vrajapa mugranagastata.
Yeah, that word is Vrajapam Ugra. Ugra,
Oh.
ferocious. That Ugra.
So when I combine it, it's Vrajapamukra, right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
So if I want to break up, how would I say that?
If you break it, like Vrajapam Ugra Nagastada.
Okay. Thank you. Iti tvairasakulam ramita vallabhe vallavaha katapi puramambika kamitu rambika kakanane sametya bhavata samam nishinishevya divyolsavam sukham sushupuragrasid vrachabam ugranagastada. Sorry, I lost the tune.
Okay.
इति त्वयि रसाकुलं रमति वल्लभे वल्लवाः कदापि पुरमम्बिका का कमतु रम्बिका कानने समेत्य भवता समं निशि निषेव्य दिव्योत्सवं सुखं सुषुपुरग्रसीद् व्रजम Mugranagastada. Any corrections?
And the first line, Ramita Vallabhe.
Okay, Vallabha.
Yeah. Second line, there was some small thing, but I'll correct you if you do it again this time.
I'll do it slowly. Okay. Iti tvayi rasakulam ramita vallabhe vallabaha tad kadapi puramambika kamitu rambika kanane sametya bhavata samam nishi nishevya divyotsavam sukham sushupuragrasid vrajapamudgranagastada.
Answer two. Samun Mukamatol Mukai. Sorry, wait.
The Vallavaha, the first line, right?
Yeah, see, the Vallava, when it says the Va, it is referring to the male Gopas. When it says Bha, like Vallabhe, it is referring to the females. So the first one is Vallabhe, Vallavaha, both of them.
So both are correct.
Yeah, no, there are two different words because it's two different meanings.
No, here it is Vallavaha.
Yeah, Vallavaha, correct. Last word is Vallavaha. The word before that is Vallabhe.
Vallabhe, Vallava.
Yeah, Vallabhe is referring to the Gopikas.
Okay.
And Vallava is referring to the male Gopas.
Good to know.
Okay.
Thank you.
Answer two. And this will come again, I think 73rd Dasakam. The same two words will come again. Krishna is leaving, so we'll remember that context then. Answer two. Samhun mukamatol mukair abhihate pitasmin bhalat amunchati bhavat pade nyapati pahi titaihi tada khalu pada bhavan samupagamya pasparshatam bhavau sacha nijam tanum samupasadya vaidyadharim. So the snake, starts biting, right? It's trying to swallow Nandagopa. So of course, when Nandagopa starts getting bitten by a snake, he starts yelling out, screaming out, and he starts screaming Krishna's name. He says, "Krishna, Krishna, please help me. I'm getting bitten or I'm getting swallowed by a snake." So all the people who are there, the Vraja Vasis who are there, so they all have this torch, made of fire, right? Because they light up the fire at night because they are in the forest. So they immediately rush there and they take those woods of fire and then they start beating up the snake, trying to kill the snake. But nothing is happening. It's a massive sized snake and it is not getting impacted with them trying to beat it, and it continues to bite or continues to swallow Nandagopa, right? From the leg, it starts swallowing. So at that time, Krishna comes and Samupagam, you come close to it, Krishna, and then with your feet, you touch that snake. See, because, I was telling this, when you, if you remember a long time back when we were discussing the chapter 5 and chapter 6, and we're talking about the various worlds which are there, right? So we said each of the worlds refers to, or levels of the worlds, refers to the various consciousness levels, right? When you are high in tamas and your consciousness levels are not that high, you go into the lower worlds. When you get enlightened and then you grow up in consciousness, right? Then you go into the top more world and finally you reach Satya Loka where Brahma is, right? So lot of these beings who are there in the higher consciousness worlds, when they commit certain mistakes or certain things go wrong, you get demoted, right? Like we say in earth also right now, you see, you do a lot of bad things in this earth. You commit a lot of crimes, it's unbearable. You're going to get demoted at the end of the day, in the next janma, right? So anyway, so these higher beings sometimes get demoted because of things that happen to them. So here, that's what is happening, which is come in the next stanza. But it says here, the moment Krishna, you touched that snake with the tip of your feet, the snake disappeared, and then a Vidyadhara came up. Vidyadhara is referring to some of the demigods who live in the upper planetary systems of higher consciousness than normal human beings. That's why it's referring to Vaidyadharin, referring to the Vidyadhara, Gandharvas, lot of other demigods who are there. So it becomes one of that demigod. Samunmukham. So I'm going to break this into a few words. It's easy then. So that ma that is there, you break it there. Samunmukham atol mukhair. So the ra again, put a ear, atol mukhair. Abhihatepi. Okay, so you can break it into those three words if you want. Or if you want to say it together, you can say it together also. Samunmukham atol mukhair abhihatepi tasmin balat. Put a it at the end of that line, comma, balat. Next line, the becomes a. Amunchati bhavat pade nyapati pahi pahiti taihi tada khalu pada bhavan samupagamya pasparshatam, comma, bhabau sacha nijam tanum samupasadya vaidyadharim. Samunmukamatol mukair abhihatepi tasmin balhate amunchati bhavat pade nyapati pahi pahi titaihi tada khalu pada bhavan samupagamya pasparshatam bhabau sacha nijam tanum samupasadya vaidyadharim.
Samunmukham atholukhay apihadepi tasmin balat amunchadi bhavatpade nyapati pahi pahiti taihi tata khalu pada bhavan samupagamya pasparshastam bhabau sacha nijam tanum samupasadya vaidyatharim. Samunmukham atholukay abhihadepi tasmin balat amunjadi bhavatpade nyapati pahi pahiti taihi tata kalu pada bhavan samupagamya pasparshatam papau sachanijam tanum samupasadya vaidyatharim.
The second line, second last word, pahiti, right? So I think if you stretch that he a little bit, right, then it will land properly. Pahi, that is a short e. Pahiti, right? Okay.
Thank you. Pahiti.
But it's even that is also pahi only. It's pahi, pahi, iti, right? So that's why it becomes a long e there.
Thank you.
Also, Rajesh, the first line, is it Athol Mukair Abhi or?
If you're breaking it, it will become atol mukhair abhihatepi.
Okay, thank you.
Rajesh, it doesn't become mukar, right? In Tamil, it says mukamatol mukarabi hatebi. So when we split that, it will still be mukam atol mukhair, not mukar, right, sir?
Yeah, not mukkar, definitely mukhair only. It's mukhaihi only. So
Okay.
kai.
Thank you.
Kai, yeah, maybe your book does not have a kai, but it's kai,
Right.
mukhai.
Thank you, sir.
Samunmukhamatol mukhairabhita abhihatepi tasmin balate amunchati bhavatpade nyapati pahi pahititaihi tada khalu pada bhavan samupagamya pasparshatam babhau sacha nijam tanum samupasadya vaidyadharim. समुन्मुखमथोल्मुखैरभिर्हतेऽपि तस्मिन् बलात् अमुञ्चति भवत्पदे न्यपति पाहि पाहीति ते तदा खलु पदा भवान् समुपगम्य पस्पर्शतम् बभौ स च निजां तनुं समुपसाद्य वैद्याधरीम्.
The second line, last letter, last word, pahiti taihi.
पाहीति तैः.
Stanza 3. Sudarshanadhara prabho nanu sudarshanakyo'smyaham munin kvachidapahasam taihamam vyadurvahasam bhavat pada samarpanat amalatam gatosmityasau stuvan nijapadam yayau brajapadam cha gopamuda. So the snake then disappears and it takes the shape of a Vidyadhara, which is like a little bit of an advanced being, right? Which is a shining being. So at that time, when Krishna knows, but he's asking for the benefit of everybody. He's asking, "Who are you?" Right? You're looking so great. You're like, you don't look like a normal human. You're looking so, shining. Who are you? So he says that I used to be a Vidyadhara. My name was Sudarshana. Nothing to do with the Sudarshana Chakram or anything. His name was Sudarshana. Okay, so he says, my name was Sudarshana. So, and because he was very like a powerful, handsome looking being who had access to going to a lot of places. So he used to be moving around across the globe because he had access to everything. So one day he saw a bunch of powerful rishis who were walking. And rishis generally, when they're walking, they are very scantily clad, they're not well dressed and hair is not made up. And they were kind of walking like that. So, the skin being, rugged, right? Because of living in the forest. So he says, I ridiculed those rishis, because I was a very handsome person. But when I looked at these people who were not, that good looking, I ridiculed them, saying, how their skin was very old and rugged and they had aged and they don't know how to take care of themselves. So they then cursed me to become like a snake, because if you look at a snake, right, the skin is not smooth at all. It might look smooth, but you touch the scales, it's actually not, right? So I was living in the forest. So they cursed me. So this kind of says that even when you get elevated to the position of a demigod, and the other example is, now I remember where I was giving this example. When I was teaching Dasakam 11, I was telling people that the Jaya Vijaya who were in Vaikuntham, when the Sanaka rishis went, right, they were able to curse them and bring them to the lower level planetary systems, right? So that means that just because you get elevated doesn't mean you're free to do whatever you want, right? You still have to maintain that level of decorum and everything. Anyway, if you hear this, Vidyadhara is getting demoted. He says, I got from being a Vidyadhara, I became a snake. But he says it's a blessing. See, all of these things, if you have the inherent good vasana in you, you'll always recover back, right? He says, the blessing for me, because now your feet touched me. So with your feet touching me, it was time for me to go back to my planet, right? So he says, and then he does namaskarams to Krishna, and then he goes back to Swapadam or something. It will say, Brajapadam, not also Nijapadam. So he goes to his original place, which is the Vidyadhara, wherever he came from. He goes back to his original place, and all the other Gopas, they go back to Vrindavan. They all come back. Sudarshana Dhara Prabho Nanu Sudarshanakyo'smyaham. So you cannot break that word. You have to say the whole word together. Sudarshanakyo'smyaham, comma. Munin Kvachid apahasam. If you want to break at the, you can. Kvachid apahasam. Ta ihamam vyadur vahasam. Bhavat pada samarpanat amalatam. So malam is impure, amala is pure. So amalatam gatosmityasau, comma, stuvan nijapadam yayau brajapadam cha gopamudha. Sudarshanadhara prabho nanu sudarshanakyo'smyaham munin kvachidapahasam taihamam vyadurvahasam bhavat pada samarpanadamalatam gatosmityasau stuvan nijapadam yayau brajapadam cha gopamudha.
Sudarshanadhara prabho nanu sudarshanakyosmyaham मुनीन् क्वचित्तपाहसं त इह मां व्यदुर्वाहसं भवत्पदसमार्पणदमलतां गतोऽस्मीत्यसौ स्तुवन् निजपदं ययौ व्रजपदं च गोपा मुदा सुदर्शनधर प्रभो ननु सुदर्शनाख्योऽस्म्यहं मुनीन् क्वचिदपाहसं त इह मां व्यदुर्वाहसं भवत्पदसमार्पणदमलतां गतोऽस्मित्यसौ स्तुवन् निजपदं ययौ व्रजपदं च गोपामुदा.
The third line, Bhavatpada Samarpanad Amalatam.
Okay. Bhavatpadasamarpanadamalatam.
Yeah.
Thank you.
सुदर्शनधर प्रभो ननु सुदर्शनाख्योऽस्म्यहं मुनीन् क्वचिदपाहसं त इह मां व्यधुर्वाहसं भवत्पदसमर्पणात् अमलतां गतोऽस्मीत्यसौ स्तुवन् निजपदं ययौ व्रजपदं च गोपामुदा सुदर्शनधर प्रभो ननु सुदर्शनाख्योऽस्म्यहं मुनीन् क्वचिदपाहसं त इह मां व्यधुर्वाहसं भवत्पदसमर्पणात् अमलतां गतोऽस्मीत्यसौ स्तुवन् निजपदं पयौ व्रजपदं च गोपामुदा.
I think the third line, Bhavatpada.
भवत्पदसमर्पणाद् अमलतां गतोऽस्मीत्यसौ.
Yeah. Okay, let's just switch halfway. So Shireka, you can be a student, and Viji, you can be a student. Stanza 4. कदापि खलु सीरिना विहरति त्वयि स्त्रीजनैः जहारधनधानुगः सकिल शङ्खचूडो बलाः अतिद्रुतमनुद्रुतस्तमतमुक्तनारीजनं रुरोजितशिरोमणिं हलभृते च तस्या ददाः. Just one stanza only this story comes. One day, like Krishna and Balarama were all just wandering, strolling around with all the Vraja people, the Gopas and the Gopika boys, everything, during one fine day. So at that time, there's a person called Shankachuda. Again, nothing to do with any of the names. Just one person who was an emissary, it says, of Kubera. So he then comes and then he tries to take the women away. So he tries to abduct the women. So he tries to, he just comes and then he just separates the women from the boys and then he tries to take the women away. So at that time, Krishna then ends up, chasing him, and Krishna tells Balarama to take care of the rest of the people. And then because he then later on the Shankachuda leaves the women and he starts running away. So Krishna then chases Shankachuda and then goes and, saves the women and gets rid of Shankachuda. That's all there is. There's no more context to the story anywhere else. So he then gets rid of Shankachuda. The only thing Bhattapad is telling here is there is a crest jewel, one of the jewel that Shankachuda has. Krishna comes back and then he says he gives it to Balarama. So he says, why are you giving a jewel, a pearl, a crest pearl to Balarama? He says the explanation that they give is because the Gopikas, he doesn't want the Gopikas to start feeling who's more special, because he already went through that whole episode earlier, right, of I am special and you are not. So he says he wants to avoid all this conflict. So the jewel which is recovered from Shankachuda, you give it to Halabrite. Halabrite is the one who carries the hala, which is Balarama. So you then go give this to Balarama. Kadapi khalu sirina viharati tvai stri janaihi. Put a visarga comma. Janaihi. Next on Jahara, there'll be ir or r, that will go away. Jahara dhana dhanugaha. Put a is to join. Dhana dhanugas. Sa kila Shankachudo balaha. Atidrutam, the break at that ma. Atidrutam anudrutas. So that ma becomes an im and a r. It will be easy to say it then. Atidrutam anudrutas tamata mukta nari janam, rurojita shiromanim halabrite cha tasya dadaha. कदापि खलु सीरिना विहरति त्वयि स्त्रीजनैः जहारधनदानुगः सकिल चङ्कचूडो बलाः अतिद्रुतम् अनुद्रुतस्तमतमुक्तनारीजनम् रुरोजितशिरोमणिं हलभृते च तस्या ददाः.
कदापि खलु सीरिना विहरति त्वयि स्त्रीजनैः जहारधनदानुगः सकिल शङ्खचूडो बलाः अतिद्रुतमनुद्रुतस्तमथ मुक्तनारीजनं रुरोजितशिरोमणिं हलभृते च तस्या ददाः. कदापि खलु सीरिना विहरति त्वयि स्त्रीजनैः जहारधनदानुगः सकिल शङ्खचूडो बलाः अतिद्रुतमनुद्रुतस्तमथ मुक्तनारीजनं रुरोजितशिरोमणिं हलभृते च तस्या ददाः.
कदापि खलु सीरिना विहरति त्वयि स्त्रीजनैः जहारतनदानुगः सकिल चङ्कचूडो बलाः अधिद्रुतम् अनुद्रुतस्त्वमतमुक्तनारीजनं रुरोजितशिरोमणिं हलभृते च तस्या ददाः.
And the third line, right? Anudrutas kapra, it's ta, tamata mukta. Okay. I think you said twa, it's ta, tamata.
Oh, tamata. Okay. In my book, it's written tvamata. Okay.
Yeah. That's why I corrected. Yeah. It's tamata mukta narijan.
Okay. कदापि खलु चीरिना विहरति त्वयि स्त्रीजनैः जहारतनदानुगः सकिल चङ्कचूडो बलाः अधिद्रुतम् अनुद्रुतस्तमतमुक्तनारीजनं रुरोजितशिरोमणिं हलभृते च तस्या ददाः.
That's fine. दिनेषु च सुहृज्जनैः सह वनेषु लीलापरं मनोभवमनोहरं रसितवेणुनादामृतं भवन्तममरीदृशाम् अमृतपारणादायिनं विचिन्त्य किमुनालपन् विरहतापिता गोपिकाः. So again, this is just a kind of a little bit transition, saying as time is passing, right? He says as time is passing and Krishna, you then spend more time. When you are with somebody for a really long time, you then get more attached, which is what they're trying to say here, is that now when Krishna, like even before, when Krishna used to go to the forest, the Gopikas used to miss him a lot and they used to think about him. So now as more time is passing and they're getting more attached to Krishna, every time Krishna, you go with your friends for grazing, the Gopikas continue to miss you even more. And, the only thing, for them was that respite is that you're going to come, or they used to hear your Venunadam and they used to feel happy about it. So kind of what we've already covered before, nothing different. It just says it continues, right? It is just becoming more harder now for them to separate from you. Dineshu cha suhrij janais saha vaneshu leelaparam, manobhava manoharam rasita venu nadamritam bhavantam amari drisham amrita. If you want to break it, you can break it as drisham amrita if you want to. So drisham amrita parana dayinam, vichintya kimu nalapan viraha tapita gopikaha. दिनेषु च सुहृज्जनैः सह वनेषु लीलापरं मनोभवमनोहरं रसितवेणुनादामृतं भवन्तममरीदृशाम् अमृतपारणादायिनं विचिन्त्य किमुनालपन् विरहतापिता गोपिकाः.
दिनेषु च सुहृजनैः सह वनेषु लीलापरं मनोभवमनोहरं रसितवेणु वेणुनादामृतं भवन्तममरीदृशाम् अमृतपारणातायिनं विचिन्त्य किमुनालपन् विरहत्ता पिता गोपिकाः दिनेषु च सुहृज्जनैः सह वनेषु लीलापरं मनोभवमनोहरं रसितवेणुनादामृतं भवन्तममरीदृशाम् अमृतपारणादायिनं विचिन्त्य किमुनालपन् विरहता पिता गोपिकाः
दिनेषु सहस्रजनैः सह वनेषु
सुहृज जनैः
दिनेषु च सुहृजनैः सह वनेषु लीलापरं मनोपवमनोहरं रसितवेणुनाथामृतम् भवन्तमपरीदृशाममृतपारणादायिनं विचिन्त्य किमुनालपन् विरहता पिता गोपिकाः दिनेषु च सुहृजनैः सह वनेषु लीलापरं मनोभवमनोहरं रसितवेणुनाथामृतं भवन्तमपरीदृशाममृतपारणादायिनं विचिन्त्य किमुनालपन् विरहता पिता गोपिकाः.
The suhru janaihi, if you have vichi, and the visarga becomes a is, okay?
Suhru janais.
Janais, okay. That's a 6. So I think from 6 it becomes like 2-liners, but I think the tune is the 4-liner tune kind of thing. Bhojaraja britakas tvata kaschite, comma, kashta dushta pata drishtir arishtaha. It's drishtir arishtaha. That's why Retiji was asking what is it arishta coming. The name is arishta. So drishtir arishtaha. Nishturakritir apashtu. Again, you can break at the tra if you want. Nishturakritir apashtu ninadaha. That is goes away. Visarga comma. Tishthate sma bhavate vrisha rupi. So this is one, and Bhojaraja referring to Kamsa. So one of the emissaries of Kamsa, like we'll see again, there's going to come, Keshi is going to come next time also. So each of them, are all like we saw Aghasura, each of them are the emissaries of Kamsas, but they're able to take any form. So this, one of the emissaries of Kamsa, whose name is Arishta, who is like any other friend of Kamsa, they're all, they all keep doing these bad things, right? They all kind of getting rid of people or killing people. So he comes looking for this person, and he comes in the form of a Rishabha. He comes in the form of a bull. So bull, they have a large hump, right? And then he was a massive sized bull. So when he's massive sized bull, when he's walking, he can rip open the ground, right, with his hoofs. So he's able to like pound it, and then the sand, it opens the ground. So with that, and then he makes a loud noise as well. So with all of that and his tail up and his eyes glaring, he then comes running into Vrindavan one day, tearing everything apart. So because he's massive in size, he's able to rip everything apart which is there, and then he comes into Vrindavan. Bhojaraja brita kastvata kaschit kashta dushta pata drishtirarishtaha nishtura kritira pashtu ninadaha तिष्ठते स्म भवते वृषरूपी.
भोजराजभृतकस्त्वथ कश्चित् कष्टदुष्टपथदृष्टिररिष्टः निष्ठुराकृतिरपष्टुनिनादः तिष्ठते स्म भवते वृषरूपी. भोजराजभृतकस्त्वथ कश्चित् कष्टदुष्टपथदृष्टिररिष्टः निष्ठुराकृतिरपष्टुनिनादः तिष्ठते स्म भवते वृषरूपी.
भोजराजपृदकस्त्वत कश्चित् कष्टदुष्टपददृष्टिरष्टः निष्ठुराकृतिरपष्टुनिनादः तिष्ठते स्म भवते वृषरूपी. भोजराजपृदकस्त्वत कष्टित् कष्टतुष्टपदतृष्टिरष्टः निष्ठुराकृतिरपष्टुनिनादः तिष्ठते स्म पवदे वृषरूपी.
Vijay, and the first line, last word, மட்டும் இருக்கா? Drishtirarishtaha.
दृष्टिररिष्टः. Okay.
Stanza 7. Shakvarota jagati dhritiharhi मूर्तिमेष बृहतीं प्रदधानः पंक्तिमाशु परिघूर्य पशूनां छन्दसां निधिमवाप भवन्तम्. So now when this Arishtasura or Vrishabhasura, however you want to call him, so when he comes running and then he's ripping everything apart in Vrindavan, no, of course all the other domestic animals which are there, the cows, the calves, even they're also running in fear because this is like a massive sized bull which is coming to attack. So all the other Vrajavasis also, right, they're also running around because he's going around ripping everything around. So Krishna then says, don't worry, like every time, they all approach Krishna asking for help, and Krishna says, don't worry, I'll take care of it. And then with that, Krishna then is getting ready to fight, right? So here then, like North India, when they fight, they pat on their thighs or they hit their arms and says, you're ready. So that's what Krishna is doing. He's just clapping his hands, arms on his palms, and then he's like triggering Arishta even more because he's creating a loud noise. So because of which Arishta is going to divert his attention towards Krishna and not hurt anyone else. So he's kind of making himself as a focus, and then he's calling Arishta towards him. And Arishta comes running. So, so he just says here Bhattaripad is kind of playing with some words, which is difficult for me to explain in terms of the chandas and all that, but let's ignore that. But essentially what it is saying is this Vrishabhasura is coming towards Krishna, who is then waiting for him, ready to fight. Shakvarota jagati dhriti hari, मूर्तिमेष बृहतीं प्रदधानः पंक्तिमाशु परिघूर्ण्य पशूनां, छन्दसां निधिमवाप भवन्तम्. So there's some reference here, and I don't know if any of you know here. It says there are 5 chandas or 5 meters that Asura has under his control. I don't know what that means, right? That he has only 5 meters under his control. But he says when you have only 5 chandas under your control, how can you come and fight with Krishna, who is Nidhim Avapa, Chandasam Nidhim, the one who is the owner or the repository of all the Vedas, which is Krishna? How can you fight him when you only have 5 meters under your control? And I don't know what that 5 meters referring to the bull is, right? I don't know what the context there is. So anyway, Shakvaro.
In my book, it says 5 is Shakvara, Jagati, Dhruti, Bruhati, and Pankti.
Yeah, I mean that is referring to
5 chandas.
They are like the 5 chandas, but I think it's referring to each of them has a meaning, right? Like Brihati is like huge. So maybe what it is referring to is the attributes of the bull, the 5 attributes of the bull, which is one which is frightening, the one it is big in size. It's kind of defining the 5 attributes of the bull and then saying, okay, those are also the 5 names of the chandas which are there. And then comparing with Krishna, who's a repository of all the Vedas, right? Maybe it's some context like that, I guess. Probably, Shakvarota jagati dhriti मूर्तिमेष बृहतीं प्रदधानः पंक्तिमाशु परिघूर्ण्य पशूनां छन्दसां निधिमवाप भवन्तम्.
शाक्वरोध जगति धृतिहारे मूर्तिमेष बृहतीं प्रदधानः पंक्तिमाशु परिघूर्ण्य पशूनां छन्दसां निधिमवाप भवन्तम्. शाक्वरोध जगति धृतिहारे मूर्तिमेष बृहतीं प्रदधानः पंक्तिमाशु परिघूर्ण्य पशूनां छन्दसां निधिमवाप भवन्तम्.
शाक्वरोत जगति धृतिहारी मूर्तिमेष बृहतीं प्रदधानः पंक्तिमाशु परिघूर्ण्य पशूनां छन्दसां निधिमवाप भवन्तम्. चाग्वरोत जगदी धृतिहारी मूर्तिमेष बृहतीं प्रददानः पङ्क्तिमाशु परिपूर्ण्य पशूनां छन्दसां निधिमवाप भवन्तम्
तुङ्गशृङ्गमुखमाश्वभियन्तं सङ्गृह्य रभसादभियन्तं भद्ररूपमयि दैत्यमभद्रं मर्दयन्न मदयः सुरलोकम्. So like, in Krishna Avataram, anytime, when Vyasa is explaining Krishna, in Bhagavatam, he always treats Krishna as like this, like in Tamil, you have Rajinikanth, superstar, anything he can do, right? And just always does it in style. So even when Krishna, when we saw the previous Dasakams, when the Patnis, the Yajna Patnis come, so they say Krishna is standing in style, putting his arms, his feet across, he's standing with his friend in style. So even here to fight the bull, he says, Krishna, you are standing in style. And what it means is you're clapping your hands, getting the bull ready, but you are not moving. You have one hand on your friend's shoulder and you're just waiting, right, for the bull to come. You are not kind of getting even ready to fight. You're just casually standing with one of your hands around your friend's shoulder. Anyway, so this bull comes running. And this bull, of course, is getting more triggered, right? So it's having its horns facing towards Krishna and comes running around it. But Krishna is able to then hold the horns of the bull and then push it out and then able to finally knock it off, right? So he's able to get rid of the bull. So even though this Asura who is there, who was, who's very inauspicious, he took an auspicious form of the bull, Krishna still got rid of it because at the end of the day, he was an Asura who had to be gotten rid of. So Tunga Shringa Mukham Ashwabhiyantam. You can break it that ma. Mukham Ashwabhiyantam, comma. Sangrihaya Rabasada Biyam Tam. Bhadra Rupam Api Daityam Abhadram, comma. Mardayenna Madaya. That's one word. Mardayenna Mabhayaha. Is there? Put a is to join. Mardayenna Madayas Suralokam. तुङ्गशृङ्गमुखमाश्वभियन्तं सङ्गृह्य रभसादभियन्तं भद्ररूपमयि दैत्यमभद्रं मर्दयन्न मदयः सुरलोकम्.
तुङ्गशृङ्गमुखमाश्वभियन्तं सङ्गृह्य रभसादभियन्तं भद्ररूपमपि दैत्यमभद्रं मर्दयन्न मदयः सुरलोकम्. तुङ्गशृङ्गमुखमाश्वभियन्तं सङ्गृह्य रभसादभियन्तं सादभियन्तं भद्ररूपमपि दैत्यमभद्रं मर्दयन्न मदयः सुरलोकम्.
तुङ्गशृङ्गमुखमाश्वभियन्तं सङ्गृह्य रभसादभियन्तं भद्ररूपमभिदैत्यमभद्रं मर्दयन्न मदयः सुरलोकम्. तुङ्गशृङ्गमुखमाश्वभियन्तं सङ्गृह्य रभसादभियन्तं भद्ररूपमभिदैत्यमभद्रं मर्दयन्न मदयः सुरलोकम्.
But being a great Sanskrit poet, he plays around with words in this and in the next one also. For example, here it says Bhadra and Abhadra, two words are coming. So the Bhadra is referring to a bull. Okay. And then the Abhadra means it's in, and Bhadram also means auspicious. So Abhadra means inauspicious. So even though he was Bhadra Rupam, even though it's in the form of a bull, he was inauspicious, which is Abhadram. So that's why those words sound like it's the same word, but they're different meanings and different contexts there. Stanza 9. Chitramadhya Bhagavan Vrishaghatat Sustiraja Nibrishasthitirurvyam Vardhate cha Vrishachetasi Bhuyan Modayitya Binutosi Suraistvam. The Rishabha is gotten rid of. So when Rishabha is gotten rid of, then everybody is, all the gods and everybody is very happy, right? And then they're saying, one more Asura, as part of Krishna Avataram, lot of Asuras were gotten rid of and a lot of people got moksham also. So this one more Asura is gotten rid of with this, even Indra. So that's why the word Vrisha here is coming 3 times. One is coming Vrisha Ghatat. In that context, the Vrisha is referring to the Vrishabha, which is the bull. Then the next one is coming is Vrisha Sthiti Urvyam. So in that case, Vrisha is referring to Dharma. So Sthiti, so establishing Dharma. So by getting rid of Vrisha, you are establishing Dharma, which is also Vrisha. And third line where the Vrisha is coming is referring to Indra. So with establishing of Dharma of Vrisha, Indra, who is also called Vrisha, is very happy. Right? So he's just using this word 3 times, taking 3 different words, same words, 3 different meanings here. Chitramadhya Bhagavan Vrishaghatat Susthirajani Vrisha Sthitirurvyam Vardhate cha Vrisha Chetasi Bhuyan Modayetyabhinutosmi Modayetyabhinutosi Suraistvam.
चित्रमध्य भगवन् वृषघातात् सुष्ठिराजनि वृषस्थितिरुर्व्यां वर्धते च वृषचेतसि भूयान् मोदयित्यभिनुतोऽसि सुरैस्त्वम् चित्रमध्य भगवन् वृषघातात् सुष्ठिराजनि वृषस्थितिरुर्व्यां वर्धते.
Before I forget, it's susti. It's a tha sound. I'm hearing a ta.
Yes, you're right. I was okay. Chitramadhya Bhagavan Vrishaghatat Susthira Jani Vrishasthitiruryam Vardhate cha Vrishachetasi Bhuyan Modayityabhinutosi Suraistvam.
चित्रमध्य भगवन् वृषघातात् सुस्थिराजनि वृष स्थितिरुर्व्यां वर्तते च वृष चेतसि भूयान् मोदयित्यभिनुतोऽसि चुरैस्त्वम् चित्रमध्य भगवन् वृषघातात् सुस्थिराजनि वृष स्थितिरुर्व्यां वर्तते च वृषते स चेतसि भूयान् मोदयित्यभिनुतोषि सुरैस्त्वम्.
औषकानि परिधावत धूरं वीक्ष्यताम् अयमिहोक्ष विभेदी इत्थमातः हसितैः सह गोपैः गेहगस्त्वमववात पुरेश. So that's that's pretty much this chapter is coming to an end. Nothing much happening. The Gopa's friends are making fun, of Krishna when Krishna is walking. Sometimes the friends, they make fun of each other. So that's what is also happening. The Gopa boys are making fun, saying the bull slayer, the one who got rid of the bull, is coming, and then they're all having fun. Hasitai saha Gopaihi, they're all laughing and then going back home. So with that, this Dasakam comes to an end. O Guruvayurappa, please eradicate all my ailments. Aukshakani Paridhavata Duram, Vikshyatam. So I'm going to break that long word, if you have it, into 3 words there. Vikshyatam ayam ihoksha vibhedi. Okay, both of those you can break it. Vikshyatam ayam ihoksha vibhedi. Ittamata hasitaihi. Put a is hasitais saha gopaihi. Put a visargan comma gopaihi. Next, on top of the gehagas, it is a ir or a r that will go away. Gehagas twamava vata puresha. Aukshakani paridhavata dhuram vikshyatamaya hoksha vibhedi ittamata hasitai saha gopaihi gehagas twamava vata puresha.
Aukshakani paridhavata dhuram Vikshyatamaya vibheti Ittamata hasitais saha gopaihi Gehagastwamavavata puresha. Aukshakani paridhavata duram Vikshyatamaya vibheti Ittamata hasitais saha gopaihi Gehagastwamavavata puresha.
औषकानि परितावत दूरं वीक्ष्यदामयमिहोक्ष्य विभेति इत्थमातत् हसिदैः सह कोपैः केहकस्त्वमववादपुरेश औषकानि परितावद दूरं वीक्ष्यतामय मिहोक्ष विभेति इत्थमात हसिदैः सह कोपैः केहकस्त्वमववादपुरेश.
Vijay, the first word, auksha, ksha sound.
औक्ष, okay. औक्षकानि परिवातदूरम्.
Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha. Okay, we'll end the class here. I don't want to start next, leave it to 2 stanzas. So, सान्ध्रानन्दावबोधात्मकमनुपमितं कालदेशावदेभ्यां निर्मुक्तं नित्यमुक्तं निगमशतसहस्रेण निर्भास्यमानम् अस्पष्टं दृष्टमात्रे पुनरुर्पुरुषार्थात्मकं ब्रह्मतत्त्वं तत्तावद्भाति साक्षात् गुरुपवनपुरे हन्त भाग्यं जनानाम् कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि. See you everyone.
Thank you, Rajesh.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rajesh.
Thank you.
Have a
Thank
good
you,
weekend.
Rajesh.
Bye everyone.